Hello folks, and welcome to a new video and a new series called On the Radar, where we will be taking a look at games in various states of alpha or beta which may be worth your attention or keeping an eye on, or maybe even donating to via Kickstarter or supporting via early access on Steam. The first game in the series we're going to look at is called Scorn, and in the words of the developer, it is an atmospheric first-person horror adventure game set in a nightmarish universe of odd forms and somber tapestry. What a cool description, and a very appropriate one as well, as you'll see from the footage we're about to take a look at. They go on to mention that it's designed around the idea of being thrown into this world. You're isolated, lost, and it's a dream-like environment, and you're not really sure why you're there or what you're supposed to do. And you'll also explore this world via different interconnected regions in a non-linear fashion. So what that means is, just like in Dark Souls, you can go back on yourself and open up shortcuts as well. The unsettling environment is also a character in itself, which is a really cool thing. So many horror games rely on the jump scare, which is a little bit cheap. This one, the environment and the soundscape itself are part of making the environment very unsettling and atmospheric, which we'll see. Enjoy! So Scorn is built using the Unreal 4 engine, and it is just for PC at the moment. The game is going to be released in two parts, which the first part will be in 2018. That's the only information we know at the moment. The second part is still to be decided. There's no release date for that yet. It sounds like the developer had some very clear ideas and indeed principles about how this game will be sold to the public. As they say on their website, there'll be no DLC, expansions, or sequels ever. Sadly, the Kickstarter for Scorn has now ended, so you won't be able to get the beta access you're viewing here at the moment, but you can still keep up to date on the game's progress on Facebook, Twitter, and on the game's page on Steam. Links, of course, in the description below. As mentioned earlier, the world that you explore is a non-linear world. However, it's laid out in a maze-like structure, and there are various different rooms and paths for you to discover. So the world feels very much alive, with fleshy substances on the walls and pipes that are pulsating and seem to actually be part of some kind of living creature. Rather ominously on the website, it states that you need to be warned for each action there is an equal and opposite reaction. So it'll be interesting to see what that turns out to be. In terms of combat, there are many different types of creatures with different types of attacks. Now, it's very much a fight or flight kind of decision at many times, because running out of ammo in this game when you actually need it is going to mean certain death. So you do have to be careful about when you're going to fight or when you're just going to run past a creature. There are strange living machines that seem to be merged with the environment that you're working your way through. Oftentimes this technology looks like something you can figure out how to use and is vaguely familiar, and in fact figuring out how this technology works is absolutely vital to progressing further through each of the levels. The lack of music only serves to enhance the impact of every drip or bubble or echo on the already tensely atmospheric environment. A constant low hum suggests engines are a machine of some sort, and only serves to make the question of where am I all the more interesting to figure out. There are creaking and knocking sounds every so often, but rather than sounding like an up-and-coming cheap scare tactic, they fit into the overall soundscape very well and serve to keep the mood tense. The puzzles and the path themselves are rewarding to figure out. You know, in so many horror games, they forget that engaging gameplay is just as important as the terror. They can get consumed by being one thing so much that the gameplay basics get forgotten. For example, in one puzzle, you have a basic idea of what to do. You have this stone for opening doors. It glows orange and therefore opens the orange doors. However, there are blue doors to get past also. Okay, so here's a console with a stone-shaped hole, and there's a control console. Sorted, right? Well, no. You can place the stone down, but you can't interact with the console at all. So off you go to find an attachment for your arm in order to manipulate the controls. Then, after all of that, you have to figure out how to turn your arm and what each control does without any hints whatsoever. I guess just like if you have to use alien tech for the first time. It's an amazingly rewarding experience to figure out, and I hope that any tutorials or hints in the finished game don't take away from this. There's a Dark Souls feeling to the gameplay. Dead? Back you go to the start, but with the knowledge you learned, you can get back to where you were pretty quickly. Some save points would be appreciated though, as starting from the start every single time, and I mean right back at the start, none of the things you've done unlocked or machinery you've unlocked available will quickly get grading, no matter how good the game is. Of course, it's just an alpha build though, so do bear that in mind. You can also open up shortcuts back to previous areas, again, a little like in Dark Souls. However, they will be locked in the alpha if you die. It's a complete reset. The game excels at creating a world that can only be described as tensely functional. Pipes and machines are interwoven with strange flesh-like substances, and the lines I mentioned on the consoles are themselves etched into the walls and seem to be part of the intricately created environment. The level of attention to detail is nothing short of astounding. Get up close to those textures and they still hold up. Look at the pulsating pipes that actually go somewhere and don't just disappear into the wall. Talk about the coolest reload animation ever. You actually pull off part of your gun to reveal that it's some kind of creature. You then proceed to shove bullets into some orifices in the flesh. Gruesome, yep, but absolutely awesome to behold. I just do wonder if it will become a bit frustrating later on, as it takes a long time to reload due to this kind of complex animation that surrounds it. So you want to plan your reloads to be not in the middle of combat. I really enjoyed my time with Scorn. I played a lot, I died a lot, I started over completely from the start a lot, losing access to everything that I had done, but the key thing is I kept coming back to play more. It is a fun and engaging environment. The puzzles are super rewarding to figure out, especially when you can, and I did, walk past machines that you think might just be part of the environment, but they're actually something you have to go and interface with. Once you're interfacing with it, what are you supposed to do? Left click, right click, WASD? Which way should you maneuver something to get the desired effect? You have to figure it out all for yourself. There are no tutorials, and I found that really rewarding. Once again, the lack of a musical score only helps to enhance the impact of every drop or drip and sound that you can hear behind you, especially as the sound of a creature sneaking up behind you is almost the same as a general squelching sound of some of the flesh on the wall. It's really atmospheric and really makes you turn around and check behind you a lot. The developer seems to have some very clear ideas of where they want to take the game and how they're going to do it, so I'm really looking forward to seeing where this goes and for the next, hopefully, beta build. Again, you can find information about this game and where to follow it in the video description below. Thank you very much for watching the video. Please do take a moment to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video in the On the Radar series.